Alright, y'all. So it looks like y'all, the ones that's left. A couple people might be coming back. But, what am I going to talk about here? How many of y'all met me before? You didn't. You didn't. A lot of them did not. I'm going to talk about where I've been, what I've been doing, why I actually lost my license. How? Yeah, I did. I got it back, but how I lost my license, how I lost weight, low cost of living, couple books you can buy in Africa, and then we're gonna get into the maintenance of these tools. First off, everybody keeps saying me, man, you lost so much weight. How you do it? Stop eating. You gain weight by how? Eat food, right? Or genetics. But if you lose it by stopping. Coffee, suppress your appetite. Caffeine is a stimulant. Also, these salads, they like $3, $4, 2 for $7. Eat one of them a day. Or you go on a fast. There's a book out there called How to Eat to Live by the Honorable. There you go. And he talks about the 1 meal a day. And he also talks about eating every other day. And he also goes further to say if you never want to get sick, then eat every 3 days. So a lot of talk about intermittent fasting they talking about today. A lot of that stuff come from them, from back then. Trucking, if you plan on succeeding in trucking, you're gonna have to cut the cost. Because regardless of how much money you make, if it come in the door and go out the window, you own trucks, right?
Yeah.
You spend a lot of money on maintenance.
Yeah.
Right, if you're gonna own trucks, there's some things you're gonna have to do in order to maintain your truck. These two books right here are the actual textbooks at the diesel mechanic school. You can purchase these online and read them yourself. If you're gonna own trucks, you are gonna wanna understand the vehicle that you own and operate so you can take better care of it. Okay, thanks for coming, brother. You're gonna wanna understand the vehicle that you own and operate so you can take better care of it. There's a such thing as, you can come up front if you wanna.
I'm just sitting in the back.
I can dig it. It's a such thing as preventative maintenance. That's called a PM. You do it every 10,000 miles if you got an older truck. Some of these newer trucks, 25 and 30,000 miles. But when you get into the literature of diesel mechanics, there's something called predictive maintenance, where you know maintenance intervals, where every 60,000 miles you do such and such. Every 500,000 miles you do such and such, whether it's changing your transmission fluid, draining your rears, changing your air dryers when it's time to go and get your valves adjusted on your engine. And you have to know these things, and it's better to do them at a specific maintenance schedule as opposed to just running until your truck breaks down. And this coming from somebody who lived on the road for 8 years. And when you get into these small towns and these mechanics see you coming, they like, we got one. Last year I rebuilt my engine twice. I just did a transmission, a clutch, and a flywheel. That was $9,400. Dealing with a mechanic I didn't know. New York got me for what, $7,400 for a clutch. I could have did that in Baltimore for $2,000. Right, so if I would have been more aware of how the truck operate, I could have spotted these issues and fixed them before they turned into a breakdown. So if y'all notice, I've been pushing mechanics lately. I took the last 2 months off so I can get trained hands-on and also so I can study to take the test. There's something called the ASC, and they issue certifications. Just like if you go to school or college to become a nurse or a doctor, you gotta take state boards. The ASC, you can achieve master mechanic certification, and they have training materials you can buy. These are from the trade school, like North America. You're in North American, right? These the older editions, because I don't like newer trucks. But you can go a step further and get your master mechanic certification. Last time I was in Miami, math was, what was they advertising? $45 an hour, and that's not even including the overtime. It's going to go over different subjects. It's T1 through T8. You only need T3 through T8, but it goes over gasoline engines, Then it goes into diesel engines. Then it goes into your drivetrain, which would be your engine, transmission, drive shaft, rears. Then it goes into brakes. Then it goes into the suspension systems. These are all different certifications you can get, and when you acquire all of them, you have master mechanic status. So this paperwork helps you along in your journey. It also reinforces this information, and it helps you save money while you owning your truck, so you don't have to keep breaking down and paying people. And it goes into the electronic systems, heating and ventilation. And if you do nothing else, buy these, preventative maintenance. So this is Delmar's edition. This is Motor Age. I purchased both of them just because I wanted to get two different perspectives. These are 100% money back guarantee if you don't pass. The books are going to cost you about $200, all right, for the complete set. The video is going to cost you about $800 all together, but it comes with the books. So you can actually watch them talk just like we're doing right now, and they'll have the parts and demonstrations. Also, these books have diagrams in them, so you can, that was one right there. So you can see the actual part broken out. If you're going to own equipment, it's not like a car where I think every man should know how to change a car tire. It's not like that. But you are going to want to at least know how to change an air line, change a fuel filter or oil filter if you have to, change a hose, clamp a hose if you have to, change a headlight or a tail light, some basic electrical troubleshooting, which is a monster of its own, and a few other things. You're gonna have to become handy, because if not, you're gonna keep dishing out money to mechanics, and you're gonna run into the wrong one, and they're gonna put you out of business. Because if you planning on having drivers, you got drivers, right?
Yeah, I got one. He just called me. That's why I was step out for.
Right.
Something just went.
Your driver costs you more money in maintenance than you spent in maintenance on your truck, correct?
No, I'm just putting them out. This is my first one. This is my homie, because I've been down, so I just put them in my truck.
Okay, well, traditionally, and from my own experience, drivers are gonna cost you more money in maintenance than you do, because nobody's gonna take care of your equipment like you. So while that's happening, oh yeah, I'll get to that later. While that's happening, if you can learn this stuff here and check your truck every time it comes in your yard, it'll save you a whole lot of money and keep you in business longer. Prime example, I blew an engine one time. I was out here speaking, and I had a coolant leak. And I got the coolant light, but it was nighttime, and there was no coolant on the ground. So I didn't know where to go. So I started driving the truck overheating, blew an engine, as soon as I left teaching y'all. Now, had I had the knowledge that I have now, I would have knew to do a pressure check. And I could have hooked the machine up to it, gave it a couple pumps. It would have forced the leak to reveal itself. In this particular case, the leak was behind the frame, so you wouldn't be able to see it anyway. I could have saved myself an engine, and so many other things. Just a couple of weeks ago, I was on the road and I blew a tire and bent the rim. The truck shop I went to didn't want to do it, and I just didn't feel like it. So when they refused to do it, right in that bay, I broke out my Milwaukee, I jacked my truck up, I took my tire off, I took a giant sledgehammer, bent my rim back, add the tire up. I didn't even need a tire. It lost air because I bent the rim, turning the curve. Right, now they already had me estimated at like $600 something. Now for an hour of labor, I saved all of that money, because I wound up not even needing a tire, not even needing the rim, and I got where I was going just from being handy. So the last 6 or 7 months, I haven't been driving. I was out in Oregon, and they say I left a weigh station after being put out of service. So they contacted Maryland and took my license from me. Now, any of y'all been in prison before, you know they say do the time, don't let it do you. Well, I took that same principle, and instead of sitting around crying, I went and started learning diesel mechanics. I went to school for diesel mechanics before. While I was a fleet owner, it was too much madness going on with the phone ringing all the time. Had to keep stepping out of class, it just didn't work. So I used this last 6, 7 months to my advantage. And I went and worked at TA, and I worked at Peterbilt. I worked 50 hours in the daytime and 60 hours at night. And that's how I built my basic skills. Then I contacted Mr. Lee, who helped the brother that was sitting right out there, and he's been hands-on training me with engines, transmissions, rears, and drive shafts, which is more heavier, which you're not gonna get at a truck stop. And I did all of this because my life is dedicated to trucking. It's the industry that I chose. I'm gonna be in it, and I need to be more efficient in all different areas. How did that benefit y'all? If I'm doing it, then y'all should do it too, because it's gonna save y'all money. And I watched a lot of people get put out of business from maintenance. Even me myself, I've been in situations throughout the years where you have a repair that comes at a very inconvenient time, and you don't always have the money. So then what do? Yeah, you seem like you've been there before.
I just been through it 2 weeks ago.
Right.
I just spent 15,000.
That's what I'm saying.
11,000 one week and 3,700 the next week.
Right. And so what happens is, I call it a 2-piece with a biscuit, where you get incident, tragedy. You know how they do the 1, 2, and then the knockout punch. Right. And then you spend 37 here, you spend $5,000 here, you spend 4 here, 1,800 there, and then it starts all accumulating too fast. Mm-hmm. And while you're sitting and your truck is in these shops, you're not generating money. So along with the cost of maintenance, you got downtime. Then you still got insurance and all these other lifestyle bills accumulate. So that's why you need to learn this maintenance stuff. Even if you just learn the vocabulary so you can talk to mechanics as if you got some sense, because all of them are not on the up and up, just like all truckers are not on the up and up. Not to bash mechanics, because I have been working in that field and I have a different perspective from a mechanic's point of view. Just like they don't have a trucker's point of view, we don't see their point of view. And I'm bridging that gap. That's why I bring mechanics in here to talk to y'all. Also, the cost of living. A lot of people go out of business because their cost of living is too high. And this coming from somebody who had anywhere between $8,000 to $12,000 worth of bills a month. You know, living in downtown Los and buying jewelry here, and matching cars there, and eating everywhere, and then you trying to save the world. You want to be giving to this person, giving to that person, and on top of all of that, coming to teach y'all and advertising so I can reach to y'all. And that can become extremely costly. There's a book out there called Life in There, and it talks about the quality of living with 2 people. One person had a real high dollar lifestyle, the other one had a lower level, but a nice, decent life. And he was way more happy. He had the freedom to do the things he wanted to do, help people how he wanted to help them, and work when he chose to. So that's where I'm at right now. I can go to work for 10 days, really a week, and I can take 3 months off. And matter of fact, that's what that's what I'm doing right now. That's how I was able to stop and train, because you can't train and drive at the same time. It's not gonna work time-wise. Because once you get out there on the road, you got your headset on, so you know. Right, it became a part of your body. That's how it be. I leave mine in the truck. Once I get out of the truck, that headset is there. But once you get out there, I mean, I was supposed to go on the road for 6 months. It turned into 8 years. And it becomes a condition where you're so used to keep moving and moving and moving and moving. What's the point of getting at? If you're gonna own trucks, learn the diesel mechanics, at least the light duty stuff. It's a good idea for you to go and get the certifications. It's not needed. Most jobs don't care whether you get the certifications or not. It helps them, and it will help you start off at a higher pay. Like while you're in school, you should be going to the ASC getting your certification. They cost like $53. But you gotta be able to pass the test. And instead of starting off on the lower pay scale, you can start off at the top, and you can get more money. And the shops will send you to dealer level training. Like if you're working at Peterbilt, they have specific training that nobody can get with Peterbilt. That's general, but it goes all across the board, because maintenance will kick you out. And also having a high cost of living So you get out there, you start making money, whether you making $5,000, $8,000 a week, and you keeping between 2,500 and 4,000 a week if you driving. There are times where you keeping 5,000, 6,000, but it takes a lot of running, and that's not every single week. Normally, like 1, maybe 2 weeks out of the month, you're gonna make over 5,000. That's in your pocket after everything. If you driving, the game changes when you start adding drivers, because you're not grossing what they are. People not gonna drive for you as hard as you are, and people not gonna take care of your equipment as much. So that gross is less than you would make, and that maintenance is higher, which leaves you a smaller chunk to divvy up, as opposed to you owning your own truck, having the correct trailer, which would be a flatbed, because it's less competition, so they pay more. Everybody's got a driver. If you're going to get another truck, have a backup truck. So when your truck is in the shop, instead of you paying for a rental, you can just go and get in your truck and eliminate downtime, learning some basic maintenance, so you can get yourself off the road and at least back to your yard where your mechanic is, people that you know and trust, where that's not going to take advantage of you. That's going to cut your downtime. If you constantly running, you're making more money. So if you know the hand skills to get off of the road and not turn into a road car, 2 tires on the road gonna cost you $1,200. All right, I'm gonna tell you that right now. You're gonna pay about $600 for 1 tire on the road. So you need to know how to clamp a hose if you got a coolant leak. You need to know how to fix something electrical real quick. You need to know how to cage your brakes. You don't need to know how to change your brake. It's helpful. I can do it. But if you can cage your brakes, get down there, take that key out, back, or if you don't have the key, you can take a ratchet set, back your brakes off the drum. Then it'll free roll. Then you can use the brakes on your tractor to get off the road into a safe place where you can get to a trusted mechanic. You don't want to be doing this and running loads because it's dangerous and it's illegal. And if DOT catches you, they're going to put you out of service. But you need to know how to get off the road, and you need to have that extra truck so your downtime is minimized, so you can constantly keep on rolling and making money. Because sitting is going to cost you, and when your bills is in the thousands as far as maintenance, and you're not even talking about insurance or your own personal life, it can get very, very expensive. You had a question?
I forgot. It'll come back to me.
Anybody got any questions while I'm rolling? All right, so what's the
I
main?
got one. What's the industry like? I got a little bit of mechanical knowledge. How you really like start the process of learning?
Right there. Vocabulary, 1. All right, let me do this again. These are the books that the actual school use, like a trade school, North American Trade School. These are the older editions. I purposely bought these because I like older trucks. These 2 institutions have specialized, isolated skills that they teach that will help you get your certifications. But experience is the best teacher, to be quite honest. While you out there, I was told by old heads long ago, when the mechanic working on your truck, stay there. A lot of people like to get in the back, lay down while they truck getting worked on. If you're allowed in the shop, watch them. Also YouTube, before you call a service truck, go to YouTube or Google and type in exactly what your truck is doing, and then read everything that pops up. This will give you stuff by the book, but this not going to tell you if your truck not starting to spray some ether in there. It's not going to tell you how you can bypass a starter with a screwdriver. So these are stuff you're going to have to learn by being out there. It's not going to tell you that if you don't have no airline right there that you can spray ether in your tire and set it on fire and it'll inflate. These are things that you're going to have to learn by being out there in the field. One thing I wish I would not have done, I don't regret it, but I would have done it differently. When I got out of prison, I went straight to trucking school, but when I finished, my plan was to go to diesel school, and I allowed somebody to talk to me, talk me out of it, because they said I wouldn't be able to carry the tools. I should have did that when I had the time and wasn't on the road, as opposed to 14 years later, now I'm going back and learning diesel mechanics. I should have learned it then. There's also some tools you're going to want to buy, and each truck is going to have it. You're gonna want to start off with your basic hand tools, you know, screwdrivers, wrenches, all of that stuff. Then you go into your ratchets, your sockets, all of these things, because it's gonna save you time. Then you taking a wrench and you just keep on going and going. Then your power tools, your impacts, you're gonna get all the way up to at least a 2-inch. Milwaukee's got the best thing on the market right now, but Harbor Freight's got a lot of stuff that do just as well if you're not doing diesel mechanics full time. In your truck, you're gonna want to keep a pair of bolt cutters. I mean, every driver should have that. Even, I mean, if you drive van or containers, you're gonna need bolt cutters, but you also gonna need some filter wrenches. Sometimes when your truck slow up, you start lugging, is nothing necessarily wrong with the truck. Your filters could be full. So sometimes you can drain them, or sometimes it's time for you to get a PM and you may just not be in the space to get it. You can just change the fuel filters and your truck will speed up. Or your oil filter will do that sometime as well. You're gonna wanna get some relay testers. A relay is a fuse, well, it's like a fuse, big square box. But you can't see in them like you can see in a fuse. You can see a fuse blown, not the relays. So unless you skilled enough with the digital multimeter, they have a relay tester you can get where you can plug the relay in and it'll tell you if it's good or not. You're gonna want a digital multimeter so you can check voltage on your batteries and lights and power outlets. You're gonna want a fuse tester, just like they got the relay tester. They got a fuse tester if you don't know what you're doing, or if your eyes are bad, or if it's dark, or sometimes there are fuses that don't look blown.
Good.
That may not be good, and you can put it in there and you can be able to test it. Wire cutters, you're gonna need a pair of wire crimpers. Sometimes your lights can be connected, the wires, like how it's connected here. Sometimes they snip the wires and connect them with the butt connectors. Sometimes it could still be inside and come loose, and it looks like it's hooked up, and you wondering why you're not getting power, and it could be right in there. So you're gonna wanna be able to snip that, get all the debris off of it, put it back together. It's gonna save, because you can get put out of service at a DOT station for a light.
Yeah.
Right, but the stipulation is if you get it fixed, you can leave. So do you want to pay that few $100s for a roll call and waste those few hours, or half a night, depending on what time of day it is and how far the mechanics are? Or you want to know how to get out there and do it yourself? This stuff seems elementary, but you'd be surprised how many people own trucks that don't know how to do it. You got your own trucks?
Yeah, I just brought one.
This your first one? You got your authority?
Nah, not yet.
Who you running with?
Anything.
Who you running with?
Trying to get with Amazon. I've been talking to them, but
Oh,
I gotta
Amazon.
I gotta do everything. I'm like, when I say I just got the truck, I just got the truck. I just brought a 2013 Peterbilt.
Okay, so you got DEF on it.
Yeah, I don't even really care for that, but
I mean,
trying
you
to
got it
look for
now.
something that was older, so I wouldn't have to deal with the DEF, but that was hard. But I got it for a steal though.
Right. Well, right now, truck prices are cheaper than ever.
Yeah.
So a lot of people been doing bad recently, especially people who got drive vans and people who doing Amazon and all these different things, or people that got restrictions. So I don't see it, because I'm not limited. But people who got kids, wives, and people who have to be home every other day and every night and all of this stuff, can't work weekends, it's tearing people apart because they restricted to rates for this area, and they can't go where the money is.
Right.
So, and everybody around here fighting for the same loads, so it's making the rates go down. So people having issues. Yes, sir.
I remember my question. It was about the flatbeds. The seminars that you had in the past, you would always tell us if we get a trailer,
Get a
buy
flatbed.
get a flatbed.
Yeah.
Would you ever, because that's something I was thinking about doing probably in the future. Would you ever consider because I did flatbed when I was with Western Express, but that was a couple of years ago. Would you ever consider would you be able to train me how to tie different things down and stuff? Because I don't. That stuff is I probably wouldn't remember. You know what I mean? 'Cause I know.
I can, but I'm gonna tell you up front, I charge people for that.
Oh no, man! I know you.
And the reason why I do that is because in order for me to do so, that means I have to not run or not work that particular day.
I can dig it.
I can give you a crash course for free
Nah, I want it.
if you got the time.
I would rather just pay you and just get it, cause with the flatbed, what I found out is, you gotta make sure that stuff is strapped down properly. Not to say you wouldn't be able to do it in a crash course, but I would want you to be like, look for this and this, that, and the third. So I know, all right, I remember it, but I still want that knowledge in my head. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So a lot of times it's a fear thing. Not saying you're afraid, but a lot of people are. So one thing I tell people, most of the time when you go to a warehouse, it's other trucks getting loaded, right?
Mm-hmm.
So watch the truck that's getting loaded before you, how they strap it down, and just do the same thing. And then also, a lot of times the drivers will tell you what you need and what you don't need, and sometimes the warehouse people will. You don't want to say too much to the warehouse people because then they may think you're incapable of hauling the load, and then call you or your company to try to get the load back. But it's a lot of stuff on YouTube. I can do it. You're gonna have to give me a week advance though in order for me to make it here and schedule things.
Right.
But if you want to save time and money, you can send me a picture of the load and I can walk you through doing it on the cell phone. I did it plenty of times.
Right, and another question I asked, I know you gotta, finish presenting everything. What's like the?
Well, I'm here for y'all.
Oh, okay. What's the average price is like if I wanted to purchase like a
Right now you get a flatbed for $5 grand.
Wow.
Yeah, normally you ain't getting nothing under 10. That's why a lot of people don't have them.
Okay.
People get drive vans because they're cheaper.
Right. Now the other question, because I think you was talking about it, or the first guy was talking about it. If I get a flatbed, should I get one of them step decks or just get a regular flatbed?
Well, a step deck is gonna pay you a little bit more money.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna cost you a little bit more, but not that much.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe an extra $2,000, $3,000, but you're gonna have to buy more equipment as well.
Okay. I mean, is it worth the investment? Like the.
It is.
Okay.
It is. Unless you already got a flatbed, you ain't standing to make so much more with a step deck, but you will make more money because you can do oversized loads. And I asked him that. I already knew it, but I asked him that because I want y'all to hear it so I can confirm what I've been saying all this time.
Okay. All right.
So step deck is oversized only. You can't oversize with a regular.
A step deck is.
No, no, they I'm saying with a regular flat you can't pull oversized loads.
You can, but not over height. So the step deck drops down.
Yeah.
So think about some of them Caterpillar equipment that's tall. You can't. The flatbed is even.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I know talking about my homeboy. He got one of them goosenecks trailers. So I
Right. So I just did an oversized load. It was wide. It wasn't tall.
Right.
And if you are gonna do a real tall one, you're gonna have to pay real good attention to your permits because if you make one mistake, you about to cost a whole lot of money and possibly somebody's life.
Yeah.
And the state will come after you. I don't know if you know all the highways got cameras on.
Yeah.
Where was that? Wire cutters, wire crimpers.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to carry extra fuses and relays, butt connectors, which would be the plastic that brings the wires together. It's good to carry an extra reel of wire, and you can get all this stuff at Harbor Freight for relatively inexpensive. Extra lights for your trailers, for your truck headlights, a tire inflation line. Any of y'all know what that is? A tire inflation line. So you got the red and blue airlines on the back of your truck. There's an airline you can buy the hook to that, and you can extend it and air your tires up from your air system that's on your truck. Instead of you, a lot of times your tire is low and it's not even flat. It's a legal flat, meaning the PSI is low, but you can add up and get right back on track. Sometimes when you're going through different weather, when it get cold, you lose pressure, or if the truck been sitting for a few days, you can drop. So a lot of times that air joint helps, or you can hit a curve too hard.
Yeah.
I've done that before. Push the air out. A tire gauge, and I'm talking a lot about maintenance, but people don't understand. You go and kick your tire, and it feels like it's air in it. But just like you could be legally blind, the legal flat is 80 psi. You want your tires at 100, and then you kick it, and it feel like it's air in it, which it is, and then you get pulled over, and that happened to me before, and it was a legal flat. So I pulled out my airline, which I was just talking about, aired the tire up, came back and checked it, then I got back on the road. But if I would not have had that, that would have cost me a few $100s on the road card. Or half a day. cause I would have had to wait for the, you know, I ain't gonna get into that. I lost my license for leaving the weigh station. So I want y'all to understand how serious that is, because we've been doing that for years and just taking it as a joke, and it's way more serious than you really think. And the states have a compact where they communicate with each other. Except I believe it's Georgia, and there's one other state that does not. Your tire gauge, your tread depth measurer. Your tires have grooves on them like this. Your front tire can only be can't be no less than 432 seconds, and your back tires 232 seconds. You want to gauge, because if you get the wrong officer, he could tell you anything. But if you got that gauge right there, you can check it yourself. Also, you don't want to just be swapping. You might keep walking on. Yeah, you don't want to keep swapping tires that don't need to be changed. It's good to have a higher tread depth, but you also don't want to throw money down the drain. So and also when you buying used tires, you want to keep them within a 5 PSI, a 532 second PSI difference. So you don't want a tire up here and then another one up here next to it, because what's gonna happen? The good tire is gonna wear the bad tire down, and that's something to teach you about life also. If you operating up here, you know, don't look down on people, but you can't afford to hang down there, because people won't bring you down. So if you trying to make something of yourself, you can't be going around the way all the time. I'm telling you, a lot of people I know that lost their life and their freedom trying to be down. You know, it don't mean you're not friends. If anything, they can come to where you are, but you can't afford it when you got shit to lose. You can't hang with people who don't have anything to lose when you got shit to lose, because it's a completely different mindset. And then when everything hit the fan, you know what's gonna happen? They're gonna say you stupid. They're gonna look at you like you dumb, and you done lost everything. Where we at?
It was the tread depth.
You gonna want an extra tire underneath your trailer. I know y'all see these trailers with the extra tire bolted underneath. If you can fit an extra rim on there with the tire on the rim, that's cool. Some of them can't, but at least keep an extra tire, because that's gonna save you on downtime. I purchased a Milwaukee 1-inch. It's gonna cost you about $1,600, and I learned how to change tires. So I can and have changed my own tire on the side of the road. If I would have did a roll call, they're gonna charge you a minimum. The lowest you're gonna get is a 2-hour roll call. Alright, TA across the street charging $155 an hour. So you're at $300 before they even do anything. And the time that you gotta waste, and they're gonna upcharge you on the equipment. So for something you could have bought a used tire for $150 back home, changed it yourself, maybe it took you a half an hour or an hour if you're rusty. It's not gonna cost you hundreds of dollars. So y'all see where all this is coming to? You wanna cut down on your maintenance costs and your downtime. And most of the maintenance costs is in labor. If you look at the parts. If you look at your bill broken down, most of the cost is in labor, the hourly. You go across the street, they charging $125 an hour. When I was working at Peterbilt, they was charging $195 an hour, I think. So just thinking about how that adds up. You gonna want an extra tire, a box of Quick Connect Fitness. This is for air. When you're dealing with airlines, if they pop, you can cut them and snip them back together. Sometimes the quick connectors on it may be wore out, or maybe they didn't cut the line evenly. Maybe it's a little crooked and it's not seating in there all the way. You can take that off, cut it smooth, put a new connector on there, and you can keep rolling. If y'all know, when your airlines pop or airline pop, your brakes lock up, so you can't move. Now you stuck. But if you got a box of quick connects, you can hurry up, snip it, put it together. And even this is basic stuff to stock in your truck, because even if you're not doing the work yourself, if a mechanic come out there and try to pull that, we need to go back to the shop to get parts, because they'll do that. I used to work at these shops, I'm trying to tell you. You can have the parts right there. Oh, don't worry about it, I got one right here. and that's gonna save you an hour and a half in labor, which is going to equate to over $200. And that stuff adds up because trucks get a lot of wear and tear. You always spending money on maintenance. You know, you gonna find out because this your first truck. You're gonna want extra clamps and hoses because the quick connects work for airlines and other things, but your hoses are going to be like coolant, and they got rubber bands, rubber clamps at the end of them. Sometimes those clamps are on too tight and it'll start cutting through the holes. So it's good to keep extra hose with you, especially if you're going in and out of climates and higher and lower climates, altitudes, because the hoses will expand and contract and they'll rip. And when you run out of coolant, then you're gonna overheat and then you're gonna blow your engine. And that's not what you want. Carry extra air lines, of course, extra glad hands and rubber grommets because they can wear out. Starter fluid, a lot of times when your truck trying to kick over, a lot of people say don't use starter fluid. I use it. If my truck will turn, but it won't kick over, you spray a little bit of ether in there, or starter fluid, whichever words you want to use. It'll force it to combust and turn. I don't know if any of y'all have seen that before.
Yeah,
You probably, you never seen it?
You
You
gotta
in
be
deep
careful how
school,
much
right?
you gotta be careful how much you spray in there.
Yeah, because you can mess your motor up.
Yeah, they ain't gonna show me that.
Right, because it's not textbook. But
Right.
when you get out here in the field, you're going to see it because sometimes it's going to be needed. Extra starter fluid, PB Blast and DW40. I use that stuff on just about everything. Bolts, I spray it in my air system. A lot of people don't do that. I spray it in my air compressor. I spray it in my air tanks. Because it leaves. No, the PB Blaster or the DW40. Because you got valves on the inside. And it lubricates the hoses. And they actually have professional stuff you can put in there, but all it is a patented version of spraying that in there. So you want to keep everything moving freely and loosely. What's this? Engine cleaner, extra brakes, brake chamber, or the key. Brake chambers, just buy those clothes. I'll use this one. Your brake chamber have a key on it, sitting right on the side. That key is for you to stick it in the hole of the brake chamber, turn it, and it'll back your brakes off. That's what you do in the event that you have an air leak somewhere or a bad brake chamber, because your brakes will lock up. That'll stop them from clamping up on you and your trailer setting on fire or truck. Any of y'all had a trailer or truck set on fire before?
Just last week on 95.
What, the engine blew or your brakes was locked?
No, it was a trailer for real. The brake chamber and shit. Something went wrong. I couldn't really tell for real, but tire caught on fire. The whole fucking trailer went up.
Right, see what I'm saying?
I have seen
I had
some
an
trailers
instance.
on fire.
Oh, but I didn't cut you off.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was saying I had an instance where, I was working one time coming down 95 with the stadium, and it didn't catch fire, and I'm glad it didn't, because I was driving a fuel truck, but I smelled the brakes, and then when something just told me to stop the truck, and I went out there, it was glowing like an orange.
Yeah.
Because it just locked up.
You was in a fuel truck?
You get a jerk.
That damn truck, trailer would have blew up on you.
Nah, it was.
I'm
was,
saying if it would have set fire.
Oh, yeah.
Because you was full of fuel, right?
Yeah, I had 8,800 gallons of fuel.
Right, you'd have died out there.
Yeah, so I'm glad, because something just told me because I kept on smelling the truck it wasn't moving right. I said, nah, something ain't right. As soon as I got up over there, I went out there and checked it. I called. I said, man, y'all got to come and do something with this. I said,
Right, and see, that's why you want to carry your extra brake chamber with you. At the very least, a brake chamber key. Brake chambers are supposed to come with the keys mounted onto them, but either people stealing them or they've not putting them on there, because I've bought several of them recently that don't have them on there.
Okay.
And it's not good practice, safety-wise, to ride with your brakes caged. But in an emergency, like when I used to do containers, which you don't own. I didn't own the container. I owned the truck.
Right.
I was stuck somewhere, all the brakes locked up on me. I caged the brakes and got it to a safe space. These little tricks you're gonna have to know, otherwise you're gonna be paying a tow bill. You know how much a tow is?
$2,500, right?
Right. See what I'm saying?
Wow.
Especially if you going, over 100 miles and shit like that.
You
You
know,
far
I had
from
to
home.
go off exit one time. Just right to the up 109.
I always tell a story. I used to park on Moravia Road, and they told me to the impound lot on 40. That's what 2-3 miles.
What?
That's $1,700.
What?
Cause they charged me the tractor and the trailer separately.
Oh.
And coolant oil and filters. It's not a whole lot that you need to carry, but you need to be prepared for when you get out here. At the very least, carry some hand tools and some ratchets. Power tools can get expensive, and you can become a kid with those power tools. Cause every week, I remember one time I was going there every week. Because you keep seeing more and more stuff that you want, and the reality of it is you don't need all of it. If you're efficient with your hand tools,
Right.
that'll get you by, and some specialty tools.
Okay.
And if you can afford to get you a computer diagnostic, like the diesel laptop is good, that's gonna run you about 11 grand. You can put a finance plan on, you put half down and pay the rest of it off, but it's gonna save you. You go to the dealership, that's gonna be $350 out the rip just to plug it up.
What about belts?
Yes. Thank you. You got anything else to add in there? No, I'm being serious. I made this list. I made this list out front. I got all this stuff written down in the book. I haven't had time to
And
put it
extra,
together.
well, and extra fluids.
Right, that was the last thing I said. Coolant oil and filters.
Yeah, fluids and belts.
Right. So and the belts will go in that hoses category. Thank you. You always catch me. Christina been here since very first time. She's always the first person to come, and sometimes the last one to leave. She's very dedicated, so she gonna go far in the industry. Y'all got any questions? I'm willing to stay here as long as y'all need me to. My thing today was I wanted to introduce y'all to the freight broker, so y'all get familiar with that industry, and also so he can know y'all, so he can treat y'all fairly, knowing that we was introduced through me. And some of y'all may want to become a freight broker. Also, if you want to make money, you're going to have to start getting direct freight. And this is the directory to do it. But the issue is most people don't have the time to cold call and drive at the same time. That's another reason why I cut my cost of living down, because that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going out there in 2 weeks, and I'm going to retrain and come back, and then I'll be cold calling and be brokering loads to people.
Those the books you have, what's the name of them so we can go on the website?
This is Motor Age.
Motor Age.
Right, this is Delmar.
Motor Age and Delmar.
Yeah, I think Delmar is going out, or either they stopping doing it. A master mechanic told me about them. They actually make the ASC test, from what I was told. I didn't look it up, but I take his word. Right, but those books were very hard to find. The Motor Age is probably what's gonna pop up first, and they have the videos where they'll send you DVDs where you can watch, or you can get a digital version and watch it on your phone, which I really like.
Did you buy it as a set?
I bought them as sets. Yeah. What you're gonna need is T1 through T8. You see the T's right here? You don't need T1 in order to be a master mechanic on the diesel certification. You need T3. No, excuse me, T2 through T8. I got the T1 just because it was a part of the set, and I'm like, why not? And also, I got a car dealership.
Is it that refrigeration air?
Double check, so I ain't telling you nothing wrong. I go test at the end of the month. Gasoline engines, diesel engines, drivetrain, brakes, suspension and steering, electronic systems, heating and ventilation. Yes.
So
that's T7. You wanna check them out.
So that teaches you how to be like
if you're doing this as a profession, you want to get those.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying that teaches you you said for gasoline and diesel engines?
Yeah.
Okay.
But T1 is gasoline engines. That's not required to become a master mechanic.
Okay.
I purchased it just because the way my mind works, it's a T, so I said why not? And plus You want the whole thing, right? You know, half of it, and then also I got a car dealership, so I will be dealing with cars.
I guess I would say he would need it.
And also, I'm sorry for cutting you off, but some of the more heavy duty trucks are diesel. Gasoline.
Yeah,
Like when you start dealing with the F-150s and all that.
that's what
Some of the T-50s.
That's what I was just about to say. Cause like you know, if you have like a vehicle like that, it probably save you money to know the stuff, and you could probably, you know, or if you, like you said, if you know the knowledge, you're like, look, I need this fixed, I don't need all that other stuff. I need. You know.
It's the same concept as with the trucks. How often you hear about not being sexist, but how often you hear about females going to car mechanics and getting ripped off?
Yeah, more often than not.
So I work on my own stuff.
You do?
Yes, I
She do it all.
What's up?
work on my own cause.
That's what's up.
Too much.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
Nah.
That's what's up.
Cause you like he is saying, like even with whether it's a truck or a car, you really just don't want to be stuck anywhere not knowing how to do anything, cause it'll just drive you crazy. So I'd rather know what I'm doing and get it done and continue to do what I continue to be on the road the way I gotta get to. It really does save time and mental.
Right. And you can't be no damn bitch. Cause a lot of people scared to get dirty. Be honest with you. That's why most people don't want to do flatbed. They want to go to work, be slick, and then okay. Wow.
It ain't bad though. I don't know why.
It's not
It's
bad.
because you have to
A
continue.
lot of people can't have.
It's rain
I
and
never
snow
dealt with
and
the talk.
mud.
Right. So people afraid of doing it. That's
And
all.
Learn how to mess
And
with talk.
the ratchets, you have to
Talk
you have
is
to
easy, just have
consistently
to
look at the
say
ratchets.
something.
all
I
the
ain't never
time.
had to deal with it. Everything that I ain't had to come.
Know about some ratchets. You been studying.
It's not as good because when I used to.
Nah, I'm telling y'all better watch out for Christina.
That's what's
I'm
up.
telling you, cause she gonna go far.
It's the talk, because when I used to work for Western Express, I remember you used to have to do them. I used to hate them, but like I was telling him, my skills just kind of, I ain't did it in a while, but it's flatbed not that bad, man. People make it bad, and I think the most thing, like I was telling you, I need to refresh on is the chaining. When you chain, because the straps themselves, like, you know, the yellow straps and stuff, that's not that bad, but it's like when you, them chains and stuff, man, I forgot about that.
Yeah, but with a flatbed, with the straps, you know, with a truck, you don't have to consistently look at the straps because it's already in the truck. It's compacted. But on a flatbed, you have to consistently look at the straps because, like you say, every 2 hours. Because if not every 2 to 3 hours, because your stuff will shift. I've seen
Right.
on the truck. I'm like,
I
this
just-
guy gotta, you know, fix his truck because his stuff is shifting. Like, and
I
like,
just
you
seen
think-
it. She right. I just seen it the other day. If you're gonna go by the book, your first 50 miles or your first hour, you're supposed to stop and re-torque everything or strap it down,
Right.
or at least check it. Then every 150 miles or every 3 hours after.
And I got a question, because when I was doing it, I remember they had them, when we used to do the chains, they had the ones you flap over, them type of straps, and then they had the ratchet strap. I used to like the ratchet straps a little bit better, because them other ones, man.
I don't like them.
What, the ratchet straps?
Nah.
You know which one I'm talking about, the ones where you gotta put them on and then you gotta.
I'm sorry. You talking about on the chains.
Yeah.
The ratchets are better. The ones that you have to flap and clamp close.
Yeah.
If you're gonna use them, you're gonna want to put a bungee cord on them
Yeah.
so you can keep them. Because what'll happen, it'll vibrate and then it'll kick open,
Mm-hmm.
and then that chain will be flapping everywhere.
Yeah.
Bungee was not that safe either.
So what's your biggest you just got your first truck.
I just got my first truck. I
You
ain't
got
know-
tags and all that on it yet?
I'm going through all that now.
What was you doing before this?
Driving for grade line. I went to MTS. I was doing flatbed with that. Driving the dry bulk tankers for real. Right now I'm trying to study to get my hazmat. Like
Right.
I'm trying to do too much at one time. That's probably why I'm drained right now for real.
Well, I guess like that. Have you did you take the hazmat test?
No, not yet.
Did you go up there and see if they're gonna
around,
allow
man.
you to?
You gotta get your ELD and.
That's why I was asking, because you know I got a trucking school,
Okay.
so I can we can straighten get stuff out when
Oh,
we
you said
leave
you
here.
have an ELD now.
Now it's a it's
Entry
like-
level driver
yeah.
training.
Yeah, the training you gotta do
Like
ELD
$70
training before you can
Right.
before you can even take the
And
test.
it was even more than that.
Oh, it
Yeah.
definitely changed. I got my hand. it
Yeah,
definitely
they changed it. I think
Yeah,
back in
switched up.
February.
It was
Yeah,
it was
Yeah, I
February.
heard about that.
Yeah,
I didn't know
they
if it
Well, it
changed
wasn't. It was February last
Yeah,
year.
last year February. You got to take a ELD training in order for you to even take the test.
for the hazmat.
Mm-hmm.
They trying to get more ways.
Is the same people who do the twit car still again and the hazmat the same company? Same.
Well, now
It's not
one
hard
thing
to
that has
take.
changed for the good. You used to have to take a fingerprint in the background for
Mhm.
both.
Right.
Now they look at your twit card
Mhm.
as your background
Okay.
and fingerprint, so you don't have to redo it. If you
Yeah.
have that, you can just go in there and test if you got your ELDT requirements taken care of, which we'll take care of in a minute. Do you know what you're gonna do with your trailer? As far as the
I
trailer,
don't even have a trailer yet.
well, don't activate your authority without no trailer,
Yeah.
cause you're
Yeah,
gonna be
I
out here. You're gonna be out here fighting for loads.
My plan for real, cause I'm jumping out. I just wanted to like get underneath another company first. You feel me? And then I do everything else. I don't want to jump out there just now. Like,
But you
right
should
off the bat.
apply for your authority because it takes at least 6 months for them to for most companies for at least 6 months for most companies to look at you as far as your grades and stuff like that. So if you, even if you did get your authority, put your authority under someone else's company.
Okay,
Mhm.
I got you.
Right.
That way it'll already be activated, and once you do, leave the company, you'll already have that experience under your company.
Okay.
That's well. Elaborate on that before I answer.
Well, you know how
Because-
you're working
because
under
your
someone
authority-
else's. You're working under someone else's authority.
Right.
Like I can't remember the company. Like I was
You can piggyback like that?
yeah, you can put
Well-
your company under someone else's authority.
Now I got my LLC under like these people called Zev.
No, she's
your
correct.
authority.
Yeah, your total MC number.
Yeah, you can
I
put
didn't
your
know that.
MC. You can put your authority under someone else's
Assurance.
yeah.
I didn't know
You
that.
just work
Well,
under
no,
someone, not
not,
insurance,
no, not the insurance.
but the
You got
your
your own
your
insurance.
authority.
So okay, so here's the thing. Yeah, all right. When you first start your company and you activate your authority, it's not active until you start your insurance.
Mhm.
You have it, but it's not active. You got your numbers, but once the clock start ticking, once you get your insurance.
Gotcha.
All right. Most brokers, it go in increments. 30 days, 90 days, 6 months. Every broker got their different stipulations. After you've been in business for 6 months, 95% of the brokers gonna deal with you. If not, the big boys gonna deal with you, and a lot of them fighting for the same freight. That's why when you look on the load board, you see different brokers with the same load, and they may even be very close to being the same exact rate. You can run loads for another company. My brother did that. He had his own authority, and he was running down the port, and so he got a bigger split. So instead of getting a 25, 30 percent to them, he was
Because he's
getting
using
90.
his own
So they was
equipment.
only getting 10. So what she's saying is 100% correct. It allow your authority a chance to mature, but you can make it. The time frame that you really want to worry about is that first 21 business days.
Yeah, with the insurance.
Right, and so even if you activate it, you can't leave the state. And Maryland is a funny state where 50 miles you can be in 4 different states, whereas Pennsylvania you can drive 6 hours and still be in the same state. So it's more challenging here. So to confirm what she's saying, you would want to file your authority first and allow at least that first month to go by, because during that first 21 business days, which pretty much equal a month, they're looking for reasons to not grant you authority. Like, you know how before you get married, they ask, speak now, forever hold your peace. During that 21 business days, they're allowing everybody in the world to say, is there any reason why this person shouldn't be granted authority? If nobody comes up, then you active.
Is it?
After the insurance is activated.
Is it like beneficial? Because I was going back and forth, like thinking about, you know, maybe getting the authority with, like, if I do get, you know, the truck and the trailer, should I get the authority, or should I not get it? Like, because I mean,
Rephrase the question.
like, if I get the truck and the trailer, should I just like, you know, like just do it without the authority and, you know, go find the loads, or should I get the authority? Would that be a lot better and more profitable to get the authority? Like,
The authority gives you the.
You
the
ain't gonna
right
be
to
able to-
drive Your
yeah.
own,
Oh.
right?
Yeah, you ain't gonna be able to find loads without your authority.
oh, okay, so you
Yeah.
need the authority anyway.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
okay.
better. It's good to have, but even if you did have your authority, like waiting to get your authority, it's good to have your authority and, you know, still work under someone else. Because the days that you're not working with that with that company, you can go and book your own loads.
Okay. And you
Right.
get more of the percentage of it, I'm guessing.
You're getting your 100% if you're under your own, but
Yeah,
with
you
other
feel me,
people, with the other company, you're getting most of your, you know, you're getting about 90% of it because you have your own equipment.
Oh, I guess I got a little confused. I was thinking like, you know, if you get the truck and the trailer, you gotta go up under somebody else because.
No,
You don't
only
have to.
reason I suggest you, I'm sorry for cutting you
I'm
off.
sorry, go
Only
ahead.
reason I suggest you going under another company is if you don't have a trailer or you have to.
Okay.
Because some people actions will put them in a position where they can't be insured. And if you're not insured, your authority won't be active.
Okay.
If you have the money to buy a trailer, then go ahead and get your insurance together. That's gonna cost you somewhere between $3,000 to $5,000 for the down payment. Then go ahead and activate it. But don't activate your authority if you don't have a trailer. If you don't have a trailer, continue to be an owner operator until you can get a trailer or rent one.
Mm-hmm. And you did, and I guess. Oh, go ahead. Amy,
No, I want her to finish because she's very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Y'all
I'm
been
sorry.
bullshit. No.
I'm sorry.
No, cause I see the growth. When you first came here, when we was down East Point,
Mm-hmm.
you didn't know as much as you know now.
No, I mean I do,
I'm not
but
saying you ain't know nothing.
I just don't express myself right away.
Okay.
No,
You play the possum.
I guess I was thinking about what you were saying about how everybody going for the drive and stuff, and that's why I keep on like just thinking about the
Drive-in is the easiest way to go. That's why people do it.
Right,
It's the
right.
cheapest trailer. It is less physical,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like anything, supply and demand. The more something you got, the less value it is. Remember when Paul was showing y'all the different grants
Yeah.
and the amount of people that's going for them, and showing
Right.
y'all that you should go for the ones with less
Right.
people trying to get it. It's
Right.
the same thing with everything.
And I guess that's what I was thinking about, because if I wanted to stay like regional within the area, I guess I would be able to do it a little bit better with the flatbed than the drive man, I'm guessing.
Of course, but that goes back to what I was saying earlier. People with restrictions gonna
Oh,
make
yeah.
less anyway.
No, not restrictions. I still would like go out. I'm not saying like just local. I'm talking about like up in New York, down in Virginia, you know, wherever the case may be.
That's not flatbed
You
country.
want to drive in New York with a
Flatbed
flatbed?
country is
Oh, my
Ohio,
goodness.
Indiana, Illinois, the Midwest.
Oh,
East Coast
okay.
is technically not a flatbed country.
Uh,
You know, you want flatbed, you gotta go start going Allegheny past Appalachian, then you start, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the Midwest is where the money at, but I like Miami right now.
oh yeah.
Miami and Atlanta, back and forth. Cause
Okay.
once you get down there, you're gonna get somewhere between 2 and 25 from Atlanta to Miami. That's a one night drive.
Oh, wow.
You may only get 800, 1,000 coming back, but if you're looking at the full picture, you only spend about 1,000, maybe 1,200, depending on what kind of truck you got on the whole trip. So you can make a decent amount of money down there, and it's flat, and the weather's good, and fuel is cheap down there. Once in some of them states, because you're going through a couple of cheap fuel states down there.
Okay.
When you start dealing with that Midwest, you start that Ohio Turnpike, all them tolls,
Yeah.
DOT treacherous over there.
Yeah.
You got some mountains, and then if you trying to go around the tolls, you running 68 and all these other places. I used to run Chicago. That's how
Yeah.
Chicago was my favorite place to go.
Mm.
I just ain't up for it. No more, to be honest with you. But you're exactly right about the Midwest.
Yeah. As I ran a little bit of flat, I just I got a lot of other places. I was running a lot of medical freight, running the Denver, and
You was running medical on the flatbed?
no, in the van.
Right, that's
Nah,
high
in the
down.
reefer. Yeah, it was running like 5,100 going and 48 coming back.
In the reefer?
Yeah, in the reefer.
Well, yeah, well,
like 10,
depending,
12,000 pounds.
well, depending on what
That's
you
right.
would, especially what you would transporting,
Well,
specimens,
yeah,
bloods,
medical,
or
you
whatever,
doing good.
Yeah.
blood and stuff like that, or medicines. Yeah, you can.
Anybody, you been quiet? You done
I'm
got,
listening, I'm learning.
you got any questions?
I asked all my questions.
Okay. She's in diesel mechanic school.
Okay, okay.
Might need
So-
the
Get it.
She ahead of the game of what I'm teaching y'all now. I'm coming back after years of not doing it. Even though it was in my mind then, I never completed it. But I'm using it now, and I'm telling y'all, it's gonna save you thousands of dollars.
Do you like it?
I almost want to say the same way I say don't buy a truck unless you have a CDL. I almost want to say you have to learn this. If you're going to own trucks, you're gonna have to learn it by default or by design, either one or the other.
It's another business to open up once you know it too.
If you want to do it,
Yeah.
you may not want to deal with people, but you can feed your family doing it.
Yeah.
Or you may just want to work on your own stuff, but you can definitely make money doing road calls and helping people out. Or you might just want to be a good Samaritan and help somebody every now and then.
You know, see somebody on the ride road, hey, I'm a mechanic too if you need me.
Right. Well, just think about how you feel. You out there stranded, somebody in the rain, you don't know what to do. Somebody pull
Right.
over and get you right, then you
I'm
get
a
home.
mechanic, you know, if you need me, I'm right here. You don't need to call nobody.
Right.
But and then also it's another tool to have in your pocket because I'm not buying the whole automatic truck stuff. But
That's what
but what if it happens?
yeah, that's what
They won't need as many drivers, but the robot's not gonna be fixing them.
No, right, that's true. That's true.
Matter of fact, you're gonna need people to build the robots. You see all these robotics classes
Yeah.
popping up.
So with those mechanic books, will they? I guess they teach you how to fix the automatic trucks too, or is both of them and they interchange?
It goes into both of them. The particular set of text, those are specific books.
Okay.
When you get in the drivetrain, when it's going through the transmission and all that, it
Yeah.
talks about that.
Okay. All right.
These older books.
$13.
Yeah, but you're looking at one though.
Yeah, one. You know that heavy duty 4.
Yeah, that's you probably
It's on
gotta use.
eBay.
Yeah, you probably gotta use them.
Yeah, for $13.
Somebody probably went to school, don't need it. You get them brand new, they gonna cost you.
Oh, I said like 120 something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
do it like college. You better get a used book.
Yeah, I'm just.
At
I don't
least
even know
all
if it's
the-
legit. I'm about to get it soon as I leave.
When you get a used
Right.
book with college, you know everything you
Everything
need to know is
highlighted.
already
Already
highlighted.
highlighted.
Everything you already need to know highlighted. That's where I was in
So what you
college.
need, Christina?
Huh?
What you need?
What do you mean? What do I need?
You ain't got no questions? What you dealing with out here? You in transportation?
Yeah, but I'm driving buses.
Okay. You ain't struggling with nothing? No questions, nothing?
I'm here to listen. You know, I'm always listening and giving my input when needed.
That's what we do. Until we don't.
Okay.
Oh, I ask questions.
Alright, well, if you
I
don't
think
need
I
nothing,
got the link to your online books. You said you don't have no more your physical copies.
I gave all them out.
First class.
No, I gave them out all over the country.
Oh, okay, well, yeah.
I'm about to say you gave us a couple.
No, I gave them to y'all
You
here,
did.
but that was already copies away. That was several prints away. When I first started, I would ride all over the city and go to people's houses and drop them off. I'd be out in Cherry Hill 4 in the morning. I would start around 3 in the afternoon. I wouldn't stop till like 6 in the morning. I'd be out Westport.
My
Mine is
classmate,
Yeah.
I just found out who you were last week while I was in class. My classmate was like, oh, he's giving us a memo. We gonna go.
Who's
I
your
was like,
classmate?
oh, okay, we gonna go.
Did he come?
I'm here.
They didn't come?
What school
He
you go to?
drives.
What school you go to?
See, he, North Market Trade.
Right.
He had just gotten out. He had just gotten off. So he was like, he had to go.
I met him before.
Oh, no.
Cause there's a lot of people I talked to, and then there's a lot of people I met here, or people I knew from the street, or was writing them in prison, or they either contacted me from prison, had their family do it, or I mean, in the beginning I was going door to door to people's houses.
Oh, I
I
have
mean,
a question. We
yeah.
no, finish. I'm sorry.
I'll go to door. I just, you know, I done gave away over $25,000 worth of books. I can't keep doing it and doing this for free. And I'm trying not to be like everybody else and be charging people just to help them when I can give y'all the information. Well, it's not free because it costs me. Because just to be here, this right here, somewhere between $2,500 to $3,000 to put, everything together to bring y'all here to try to help y'all.
I got a question.
So it's not free. It's just not costing y'all.
I got a question that's a little off topic because I seen your like your pictures when you went to Ghana and it was beautiful, man. Like
You ain't seen half.
Oh, I know, but
Oh, yeah.
He leaving too. He going back. He gonna become a
Ghanaian.
citizen.
I am.
a dual citizen.
Yeah.
Are you gonna invite us over?
Yeah, actually, if y'all want to come in October, y'all can come.
That's what I was
It's
about
gonna
to
cost you, but it's gonna cost you about 15. Under 15, it would be a time to go and to come back. For the airplane and all that. If you start looking now, you can probably get tickets like $600-700. It'd be under $1,000.
Okay.
December is the best time to go over there. The dollar goes further over there. The food is better, and you know I've been everywhere: Miami, New Orleans, LA, Atlanta. I had more fun in Ghana. Y'all ain't get a chance to see what I was doing at nighttime. They got outside, they stuff out there. Y'all didn't.
Yeah.
It's off the chain, literally.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Well, you gotta think about it. You know all the dancing and stuff people doing, though. You know that stuff started over there.
You're right.
So you know.
I can just imagine though. I ain't
You
gonna
can't.
lie. I said I wanted to get
You
out
can't.
there.
Were you in Accra about a beach?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't. I couldn't imagine. To be
Talk
honest
about
with
how you talking about it.
Yeah.
Good time over there.
And I got
you, goddamn time.
Yeah, and I got
I'm
my-
telling you.
I got
And
my-
they treat you so nice.
Yeah.
True.
It ain't no they treating you nice to try to set you up or nothing like that. I mean I know it's probably over
You got
there.
bad apples everywhere.
Yeah.
You gotta watch
Oh,
yourself.
sure.
But my main thing was to bring everybody to y'all and to focus on the maintenance because I can't get over the maintenance part because I'm telling you, so many people been in jams over maintenance and it will kick you out of the game.
Yeah.
I'ma show up with a
So
$400 price tag on me as soon as you see me.
right, so get into this the Milwaukee tools, power tools. The walk used to be the thing, the yellow power tools. Now you see a lot of these red
Milwaukee.
right. So that's the new thing. They got and you don't need air power.
Oh.
So
That's
you
right,
get
you had the little battery.
you put a battery in there and they high power batteries and you can fix your stuff remotely and make your way through it. And most of the stuff that you need to be able to fix you can find on YouTube and you try your best.
So even if you did have to use air power tools, wouldn't you be able to use would you be able to use the air from from the back of the truck to use that or?
Yes and no. You can't use it from your air lines, but my air tank is converted. So that quick connect we was talking about earlier, mine has a special quick connect on my air tank and I can hook an air line into it. It's just not convenient. Cause the air line is big and bulky, you gotta have storage and all these different things.
No, okay, but the batteries would be okay.
It's the batteries is more convenient. And especially if you not somebody that's gonna be out there doing it all the time.
Yeah.
You can just find a little place underneath your bunk, pop it there, keep it charged up. Most truckers gonna have a power inverter in their truck, and then that's it.
I missed the lecture about the grants and stuff. So
I can send it to you,
yes, okay, thank you.
I got it.
but I'm gonna have to wait till it download because it's too long to send in a text message.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have to download it and then send it from YouTube.
You might be
or
able,
my email.
you might be able to send it to if you got a
Alright.
WhatsApp account. Sometimes WhatsApp they don't have no. If I remember correctly, they got like a bigger thing. You can just send it to her and it'll go right to her or WhatsApp.
I'm not sure. I actually only used it a couple times.
Oh, okay.
And I'm just getting familiar from being over there.
Oh, okay. But the question I had for you, like, would you recommend like the truck I buy? Should I just drive by like, well, I guess buy a sleeper if I'm going over the road? That's a dumb question. Then never mind.
Ain't no such thing as a dumb question.
I was saying
Why
buy.
do people say that?
I've
I
driven
see
cross
you.
country in a day cab
Yeah,
before.
I see, yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
see that.
So the thing about me is somebody told me I was relentless the other day. My great aunt told me I was determined when I got out of prison.
Good.
I will do whatever the hell. One of my mottos is do what you gotta do till you can do what you wanna do.
It's not a dumb
So I've driven cross country in a day cab. It wasn't fun. It wasn't as comfortable as I would like, but that's what was available. I had to make what I had to make happen, and I did it.
Right.
So, you know, one thing that disturbs me about today is men is real weak. I know women that work a full-time job and a part-time and go to school and go to church and active in church and active with their children and cook and clean and maintain a household. And you telling me these guys can't make first base, a job, a reliable transportation, and a place to stay? Something, dog. What they say nowadays, the math ain't math. That shit don't add up. And I ain't buying the excuses. You know, I'm all for helping, but I really don't buy the bullshit. Cause you telling me you can't do this and you can't do that, but you got time to do everything else. You goddamn video game master.
Right.
Or Sports Anonymous. You know every single thing Kobe did in his whole life. If you got a 5-year-old, you don't even remember his birthday. So, I mean, let's cut the shit.
Do you got that the list you put down?
Oh yeah.
You promoting this? You're promoting?
He's supposed to be here. They probably, I don't know if they can say it. If any of y'all got any products or anything, that cologne man right there, that's a more touch brand.
What is it? Amazing. What is it?
It's like a soft scent.
More
Yeah,
touch.
that's my personal one, but I can get you in contact with him. He's supposed to be here. Him and his
this
wife
is my
did
alley
it.
right here.
Don't spray it.
I was getting ready to say,
Nah, you can spray it if you want to.
You better, you ain't leave out smelling like that.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Trying to cover something up. Yes, I can get you in contact with you. With him if you want
We're
to.
waiting. I'm just giving you the room.
And also,
I got the
he a massage therapist if any of y'all wanted to go and his wife do the vegan snacks. Matter of fact.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, but if any of y'all got any products or anything, just let me know.
I gotta go pick up the little man.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead too. I'm just gonna stay as long as y'all
I
want me
will
to.
too. I
But
mean,
List of all that stuff you put together. You got that
Alright.
put together. I want to have a copy of that. So
what of all the tools?
yeah, the tools and with the winners and everything you put down.
I can do you one better.
Just take a picture.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I was just gonna take.
I don't think you can understand my hand right
Yeah,
now, to be honest.
I'm
with you.
about to listen.
The probably ain't know, yeah, I mean, but no worse than mine.
Yeah, I'm about to say my chicken scratch.
This is real
I
men.
done bread worse.
This is men writing for real. It's not men's writing. It's quick writing. But can I take a picture of it? Cause I actually want to take a picture.
Fast. It look a little
Box of
crazy.
quicker now.
But I appreciate all y'all coming and giving me y'all time. It's not free to y'all because y'all
I
spent
appreciate
y'all
you.
time
I
with
appreciate
me.
you coming, giving
know.
us.
I missed your last one, I seen it, but I forgot. I ain't put the reminder in my phone.
All right, well, right.
I mean, it's all
Don't
good.
do them like that.
No, it's been a while.
I would
Like,
have came. I was in the hospital.
everybody don't write in cursive, you feel me? So,
Everybody's supposed to write.
You said you was in the hospital for 4
But
months.
now,
when we was younger, yeah, they taught us
But
cursive.
now
They don't
teach
teach cursive no more.
I teach my grade.
yeah, I
I was
teach
gonna be
mine. mine.
My
So.
son
You probably
be
start
lost.
back
I be
driving
like, yo,
now though, right?
Come on, like.
I mean,
But
I
you,
got
but
everything.
it's
Got,
honestly what they don't teach at school
got my-
anymore.
my,
You
The
should really
income ain't
teach your
Yeah,
child.
teach your
The
child.
But
income ain't the same.
Teach your
from
child what
driving
you
as
were
it
taught,
is.
so that way they'll understand
From
what
you,
you
though.
I only
understand.
write in
Right.
cursive.
Because even though
Oh,
you
man.
gotta do what you gotta do, but even though you grossing the same, the profit, you know, a lot of people
Yeah,
sit there
man.
and tell people go buy trucks and then don't drive.
Yeah, extra
You gotta
air
be
lines.
having
That's
no,
extra.
that's-
7 and up.
These are
the
extra.
big-
Yeah, I know
extra.
that. That's why I'm trying to
Brake
slow,
lines.
slow get back into it. Like I said,
Engine
I got
cleaner.
one that's paid for, but I
The
might
oils,
got, you know,
the
I'm just trying
filters,
to
the belts.
slow stroke it. You know, hopefully I'll be jumping back out there next month.
What you mean?
I'm getting back out
The,
there.
what you gonna finance a truck? Don't finance no truck for no
Don't put
driver.
them like
Who
this.
know for myself?
Here, take a picture.
Right.
Can you see this?
Yeah, I can read it.
Well,
Okay.
saying it and being able to understand is 2 different things. My handwriting is terrible.
It's not that bad.
And my
It really
Hey,
isn't.
mine's is bad. Yeah, I got
yeah,
it.
but some of that stuff you probably
It's like you
Ain't
writing.
spelled.
It seems like you writing fast, but you know how you write fast in cursive. Like it's like a signature print.
well, from what I understand,
Relay
people don't
testing,
even write
digital
cursive
meter,
no more.
They don't. They don't teach it in
children
school.
cursive no more.
Nope,
Yeah,
they don't
they
teach it
don't. Wire
anymore.
They
Clippers.
don't.
And all the signatures
People
are
that
like,
know how
like
to write.
automatic.